Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into the weeds on crypto legislation. It's complex, moving fast, and it's having a real impact on the market. We've been looking at sources that show some pretty, well, shrewd strategic thinking and, frankly, a staggering amount of money being spent by the industry itself. Yeah, I mean, just to put a number on it, our sources are saying the crypto industry has funneled over $100 million into lobbying Congress. That's a
Yeah,
serious figure. So in this deep dive, we want to unpack why. Why so much money? What are they actually hoping to achieve? And, what does it mean for you, for regulatory clarity down the line?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because it's not just about getting some laws passed, it's really about shaping the definition of crypto itself. That 100 million, it's essentially buying influence, a seat at the table. They want to make sure, for example, that stablecoins aren't regulated exactly like banks.
Right.
Or, that every single token doesn't just get labeled a security by default. That could really stifle innovation.
That's a really key point. Okay, so let's maybe zoom in a bit. What specific laws are actually being debated in Congress right now? Our sources point to two main things cooking. First, there's this stablecoin bill the Senate approved. It's called Genius.
Right.
And then there's a much broader bill looking at the whole market structure, more comprehensive oversight, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And the Genius Bill, that one's focused pretty tightly. Things like strict rules for reserves backing the stablecoins, clear rights for people to redeem them. It's seen as maybe the easier win, relatively straightforward compared to the other one.
Okay.
The Market Structure Bill, though, that's the really thorny one. It's trying to untangle which agency gets to regulate what. Is it the SEC? Is it the CFTC? For different kinds of digital assets. And this throws up a big strategic question for the crypto companies.
Like what?
Well, do they push hard to get both bills bundled together? Stablecoins and market structure all in one package. But that's risky, right? It could slow everything down, maybe even stall both.
Hmm. Complexity kills speed.
Right. Or do they focus just on the stablecoin bill for now, get that clarity first, even if it means the bigger fight over market structure gets kicked down the road?
So it's that tension, clarity now versus the whole picture later.
Yeah.
But while all this is happening in Congress, isn't there also the SEC factor? Like the potential for them to just act on their own?
Absolutely. That's the constant background noise, you could say. The SEC could theoretically classify certain cryptos as securities without waiting for any new laws,
Wow. Okay.
which would obviously send huge shockwaves through the industry. It's a massive wild card hanging out there.
Yeah, it really is. And yet, despite that wild card, the sources suggest, and the market seems to reflect, growing optimism in the industry. That feels a bit strange, doesn't it? Why be optimistic with that threat looming?
yeah.
It's a sharp observation. And I think it leads us to this idea of maybe a dual timeline playing out. See, the markets are constantly processing this stuff, right? This shifting policy landscape. And the current thinking, the sort of consensus view, seems to be that clarity on stablecoins. That could actually come relatively soon.
Ah, okay. So that's part of the optimism.
Yeah, getting clear rules for a big chunk of the ecosystem would be a positive step. But the really comprehensive oversight, sorting out those SEC versus CFTC battles, that could take much, much longer to get finalized. Years, maybe.
I see.
And that longer-term uncertainty, that's actually arguably already baked into market prices now. People expect that fight to drag on.
So connecting the dots then.
Mhm.
It looks like the industry is playing the long game here, investing heavily now with that 100 million in lobbying.
To shape the rules for the future. So considering that huge investment and these strategic choices they're making, stablecoin clarity fast or broader oversight slow, what does this whole regulatory dance tell us, about the future shape of digital finance and how it might impact you, your investments, or just innovation in this whole digital asset world?